A new year often brings new opportunities or challenges, especially with work. It can also bring new directions in life. And one of those directions can include a new job. Joining us now is Autumn Collins with the University of New Mexico's Office of Career Services with some great advice on facing the job hunting challenge. Always kind of a scary thing to do. So anytime we can get someone in our corner to help with that job hunting, I think it's great. So what advice, first off, would you give to someone that wants to start their new year off with a new career, or maybe they've been out of work and they're looking? What advice would you give us?
Well, it is daunting, like you said. I agree. I would say the best advice is, there are three elements I like to say. One is visualize. What's important to you? What is it that you want out of this job, career? What's going to fit your important needs? And then second thing would be prioritize. So really write out those priorities. Location, job, industry, all of those issues. And then fourth, customize. I often get clients come into my office and they say, I've applied to 100 jobs and I haven't received any feedback. Well, first off, if you've applied to 100 jobs and you haven't received an interview, there's a resume issue. But if you have received interviews and you're not getting jobs, it's an interview issue. So we can help with all those issues at our office, Career Services. But the customizing piece, in that priority section, you want to prioritize maybe 3 to 5 jobs that are most important to you, and then customize your resume for those. Gotcha. Because then you stand out so much more to an employer versus just littering your resume on the internet, you know, for the same resume for every job. So customize.
And they want to feel also that the employer wants to feel that it's a job that you really want.
Yeah.
That you're not just out there fishing and whoever bites first. They want some investment in that job. So making sure that you stand out as a candidate that can give that investment is pretty important, right?
Absolutely.
Now, what if we've got the job, but we're looking to advance, revitalize our relationship with our career? What sort of advice would you give us if we want to do that?
I would use that same method. I would visualize. What do you want out of this? You know, dream. Do that sort of like, if I could have it my way, what would it look like?
Right.
And then secondly, prioritize. So, and then thirdly, customize. What would that look like for you? Who are your key players in your office or your industry? Who is it that, and how do you connect with them? And do you connect with them? And is this going to work for you? Right. You know, so I would say networking is a really big piece of that. And networking, I think, is about 80% of how people actually obtain jobs. And people like to hire from within. And so if you're networking within your own industry, you oftentimes will get that position above someone who's a stranger. Right.
And so networking, and I think you bring up a good point when you're talking about networking, that it's not just if we're looking for the job, but, you know, networking within.
Absolutely.
Because I think a lot of times people don't think about their networking within the office. We're always thinking outside, but those relationships within the office just as important, right?
Sure.
So what are some tips, because, you know, some of us may be shy and we're not sure about networking, you know, it's kind of, I think you said during the break, sometimes it's kind of like dating. So if we're kind of shy, what would you recommend us getting our foot in the door in terms of networking?
Well, it's a great question. I would say networking has 3 elements. So yes, not everyone's super comfortable with that. It's not something that they're like, oh, look at me, let me just, you know. And everyone knows that guy who knows everyone. But remember, not everyone likes that guy.
That's true. That's a good point.
So
that's a good point.
I would say there are 3 elements to networking, and one is knowing people. So you don't want to know everyone, and you can't know everyone, but you have to put it out there. So that scared person, maybe you start with people who are really close to you, like your homies in your office. You're actually like your colleagues who are the ones who really believe in your work, who know you're good at your job. Right. Start with them, or start with your close family members. So the first thing is you have to know people. The second thing is you also have to like them, and they have to like you. And so it has to be a genuine relationship. Right. So, and then the third piece is you have to be competent. Just because someone knows someone, and just because they like them, doesn't mean they're good at their job. Right. Or they're going to keep their job. Right. So those 3 pieces are really important for networking, I believe. And I think how to network, start with people who are closest to you, who can vouch for you, the ones who really like you.
Now, you guys have a career expo that's coming up. So just very quickly, share the details with this and how we can get involved with it.
Great. So Career Expo is at the UNM Career Services. It's at the Student Union Building, and it is February 13th, the day before Valentine's Day. Work on that dating beforehand.
Yeah, there you go.
And the way to prep for that is really work on a 30-second commercial. So do that, who you are, what you're looking for, and then end with a question. So you end up doing so then who talks after that? The employer does. Right. So that way it becomes a relationship, it becomes a genuine relationship.
That's a really good point, ending with a question. Well, thank you so much. This is all really great information. Hopefully folks out there can take advantage of this Career Expo coming up. Awesome. Maybe find a date. Yeah. Who knows? Who knows? So close to Valentine's Day. Thank you so much. And folks, we will have information on the UNM Office of Career Services on our website at casa.com.